What's up, guys? My name is MrGreen, and I'm back late with finally the review of Dr. Dre's 2001. I've already streamed my reaction to Compton, Overly Dedicated, Section 80, Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly, and Untitled Unmastered. And I'll be streaming this Saturday the reaction to Damn. So, you know, I'm slipping. Yes, I'm slipping. I'm falling behind, but these videos are really hard to make. But you know what? I want quality for you all, and I got more time to record now. So I'm going to be recording. I'll try to get Compton out as soon as possible. And then, you know, got some movies I want to talk about. Saw some movies over the weekend that I want to talk about. And then, you know, I'm just going to get right into this. 2001 did not come out in 2001. It came out in 1999, which, you know, right off the bat, we've got lies to us from the doctor himself, which is disappointing. I also like to point out that I'm wearing my Wu-Tang shirt and not my Tupac shirt because I already wore that in the video, and I'm picky. As I said in my last video, don't want to wear the same shirt twice in the video or in videos if it hasn't already been a certain amount of time. Like if I'm out of shirts, then obviously I'll start reusing them and not the one that I used in the last video. I gotta give it time, otherwise I get buggy. I'll get bugged by it. Now, I'm just going to get right into the review. We don't have that much time, and there's a lot of tracks on this thing. So let's just get right into it with the Lolo intro. Well, it's got that sound effect to start, so that's how you know it's going to be a fire album. It's got that THX sound effect, which is incredible. You know that sound. I can't play it because I'll get, like, destroyed. Like, they've blocked all my VODs. So if I play this sound, I know for a fact my channel is gonna get deleted for this. That's not true, but we won't be able to see this video, which will be pretty disappointing. And you know, there's a skit where people are like, "Oh my God, it's Dr. Dre. That's crazy." And you know, it's got more of what I love, which is great transitions to the next song. Speaking of, now the Watcher. I love this one. I love the hook. The hook, I'm a big fan of that hook. Everywhere that I go ain't the same as before. People I used to know just don't know me no more. And everywhere that I go, I got people I know who got people they know. So I suggest you lay low. Man, they better not claim me for that. But, you know, I just love that hook so much. It's just such a good hook. Like, you can't deny that's a fire hook. And it's by Eminem and Nocturnal. Don't discredit Nocturnal. There's a lot of reoccurring characters throughout this album, and Nocturnal is one of the most prominent aside from like Hitman and Corrupt. But we'll get to them later. But Nocturnal and Eminem sound great on this hook. I really love it. And we got Dre just, you know, talking about how he's still the same Dre, nothing's changed. He's still just as good as he was in The Chronic, and he's like, nothing's changed. He's still Dre. Getting ahead of myself. But he hasn't fallen off, and he's still on top of his game, which is a reoccurring theme throughout this album, which I'll talk about later. And him really just predicting Twitter. Again, I'll get more into that later. But he's just saying, I'm still here. I'm still the same music titan that I was to begin with. And this song's also got a very, very nice beat with some drums. And it's got a great transition to the next song, which I'm just going to get right into. Now, got a funny little phone call skit to lead into the song. And, you know, I like funny, and this one was pretty funny. We got a pretty solid hook from the one, the only Devin the Dude, who I'm not aware of before this. Still don't know who he is, really. And then we have some fairly sus verses from Dre and Snoopy Doggy Dogg. Just, you know, they're being pretty crass, to say the least. But, you know, I'm looking at it objectively. You know, I'm not an innocent poor child. I got that mature mindset to view this with objectiveness and critique it properly to see if they do it well. That's pretty good. This was a pretty good song, but there's not a whole lot that's really that special about it. It's got a spacey beat, which I gotta appreciate, but there's not really a whole lot that's like really driving this one to be like one of the top Dre songs. It's just a good Dre song. But the next one, let's go. Still Dre. You don't know it by the name, but you surely know the beat. If you don't know the beat, I'm pretty sure you've never heard music before in your lifetime. My grandmother knows this beat. Everybody knows this beat. Like, just go listen to the song or just look up the instrumental. It's on Spotify too. I have the instrumental on my playlist. Come on, like, it's an iconic instrumental. The thing with 2001 is that it may not have the best songs, and it may, like, you know, I'm gonna sum this all up mostly at the end, but it's got the most iconic Dre songs, that without a doubt. I will get to that more later. Keep teasing you to try and keep you engaged and be like, what's gonna happen next? But this one does have the most iconic Dre songs, and this is the clear example. This is the biggest song. It's got a great chorus from Snoop Dogg. Like, it gets stuck in your head. And, you know, his verses saying, still the same powerful forge for cultural icon. Gotta enunciate properly and not slur my words and not fumble with what I'm saying, because that is bad. And, you know, he's also just talking about, like, you know, what he's done in this time. You know, wrote some songs, signed M&M, he's triple platinum, making 50 a week. You know how we do. And, you know, it's got a great transition to the next song, too. And this song is perfect. Like, this song is perfect. I love this song so much. And, again, it's got a great transition to the next one. So let's just get right on into it. Big egos. It's got great with keys and a decent verse with some clever one-liners and rhyme schemes from the big man himself. We have the first of many features from Hitman on this one. And, you know, this time it's got a hook. I think the hook is better than the verse, but, you know, it's got some good stuff. I think the hook's got a bit more substance, and Hitman's got a pretty funny outro at that. It's got a pretty good transition. I said great, but, you know, it's just good. And, you know, this one didn't feel as high effort as the other ones. It didn't feel like, the one thing I could say about The Chronic is, while it might not have as many iconic songs, he put a lot of effort in every single one. I don't think there was a single track where he just kind of slacked off. And, you know, I feel a bit differently on this album. I feel like there were some where he didn't put his all into it. But, you know, we'll get to more of those later. But, you know, this one was just kind of the start of, like, maybe not as high effort as The Chronic. Xxplosive has got a great beat with some guitars. Those that's kind of wrong. Oh, something just clicked with me, but I'm not gonna say it in this video because I don't want to. But that will get stuck in your head, like. And Nate Dogg's hook, it's so just vibey. This is like a vibey song. There's a lot of vibes on this album. I constitute a vibe, so to speak, as not just a song that I like. There's songs that I love, and I was like, I'm not gonna go up to my friend and be like, hey, yo, listen to this song, it's a vibe. I'm gonna be like, nah. There are a few songs that constitute a vibe. They gotta fit in a certain criteria. Let me think of an example. Here is an example. Body by Russ Millions and Tion Wayne has been on my mind a lot recently because, you know, I found it and then I just have that hook stuck in my head. That's a killer song. It's not a vibe though. It's not a vibe. Xxplosive is a vibe. Moonlight is a vibe. These are vibey songs. Whereas there's some bangers and just, you know, some a lot like a bit slower songs with another one that I wouldn't exactly constitute a vibe, so to speak. Well, all those great Michael Jackson songs, aside from, like, you know, what? Nah, all of them, like, Off the Wall. That one's a vibe. But the other ones are just, you know, great songs. But I'm getting sidetracked in my definition of a vibe. So I'm gonna just stop and get back to Xxplosive, which has got a decent intro from Hitman again. Again, there's a lot of Hitman on this album. And, you know, wavy, vibey verse from Corrupt. And, you know, it's actually not that vibey. I'm just in the vibey headspace. And, you know, it's got a good 6-2 verse, which is you know, something you always gotta love. And it's got some storytelling in this one. And, you know, everyone's always complaining about, oh my god, hip hop's changed, there's no more storytelling. And, you know, you're right, for the most part. There's storytelling's kinda gone. Now it's just it's kinda lost, but we still got good storytelling in the past to look back on, and this is a good example. Now, let's move on to the next song. What's the difference? What's the difference? What's the difference? What's the difference? Big beat with big horns. Great verse from Dre saying that he's done listening to those fake people. And people are just chasing clout chasers, if you will. And you know, he does some reminiscing. You always gotta have some reminiscing. I love reminiscing. And then we got a pretty good verse from Exhibit with some quotable lines that, you know, are quotable. You know, once you hear the song, you'll know what I mean. And you know, it's just really about how good he's doing. This is a very braggadocious song, as certain people might say. And then you know we got Eminem and Dr. Dre kind of sharing a verse, kind of not. It's mostly Eminem, and you know it's talking about how much they love each other, what they do for each other. Are they gonna kill Eminem's baby mama? Is gonna kill his baby mama? And you know there was like it's like, oh, if you ever decide to kill Kim, I'll show you where the ocean is. And he's like, no, it's cool. If I'm gonna kill my daughter's mother, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna weekend at Bernie's or something like that. He doesn't say that, but that's basically just. It's a good song. It's a pretty good song. It's got a catchy hook from Pahish. It's PH and then ish. So I'd assume it's fish, but that's kind of weird. But, you know, it's a catchy hook, and, you know, it's got some good verses, as I already said. Now let's move on to the next one, which is a skit. So let's go to the skit. This is a good skit, and, you know, leads into the next song well, but, you know, my one kind of gripe with this one is that it throughout this album, there's a lot of skits on there that really don't need to be skits on their own. They can just be, like, intros to a song, but they chose to just make them their own tracks, and, you know, it's fine with this one, but you know, it's got a decent transition to the next song. Light speed. He's got a spacey beat, and I love spacey beats. I love space. Space is great. It's got a pretty good verse from Dre with a bridge. We don't have bridges that often, and I like bridges. Bridges are pretty good. And we got a very hard-hitting verse from Hitman. Now, this one's got a not great hook from Miss Rock and Nocturnal, and it's a bit short, and it really doesn't live up to like the build up that the bridge gives, because that bridge gets you like hyped up. You're like, oh yeah, here we go, this is gonna be epic, I'm ready, and then we get into the hook and we're like, you deprived me, you people deprived me out of this. You have hurt me, you have really hurt me. Like, I thought I was gonna lose my mind, and you gave me this, which is pretty, like, underwhelming. It's just pretty underwhelming, and the end of the song is very underwhelming at that. And they will put a bit too many effects on their voices at the end. I'm just not with this one. And it's got a clunky transition to the next song. Or maybe my Spotify was acting weird, but I think it's a clunky transition to the next song. I love transitions. This has had great transitions. The Chronic has some of the best transitions I've ever seen, or heard, I guess. This one was clunky. You're hurting me, Dre. You're hurting me. You better make it up. I swear. If you don't put up one of the greatest songs that you have for your next one, I will never forgive you. Dre, I forgive you. It's all good, bro. No hard feelings, because this song kills. This song kills. We have a great beat with those trumpets. You know, those, or I think they're trumpets. They might not be trumpets. Those bum, 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 bum. I think it's something along those lines. It's got a great first verse from Dre, and this is where I'm really gonna talk about it, with his first and his second verse. My man predicted Twitter. Dre predicted Twitter. It's like, I'm getting hate mail every day saying Dre fell off, and I'm like, bro, I looked at Lil Nas X's Twitter comments yesterday, and the first thing I saw was you fell off, make better music, L ratio, young boy better, blah 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 blah. But you know, it's a disease over there. I won't lie. But you should follow me. But yeah, he predicted the future. I will not even try, not even attempt to try to lie about this. And he says some more things about, you're hating on me, but I gave you your career, son. You owe everything to me. So don't come at me when you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for me. And I'm like, fair enough. And then we have Eminem's best feature. I swear this is his best feature. He's got great hook. Nowadays, everybody want to talk. They got something to say. But nothing comes out when they move the lips just to put the gibberish. And got it. Acting like they forgot about Dre. Because it's catchy, it's fast. There's a great verse of him talking about like how much him and Dre matter, like how essential they are. Admitting to committing arson on the news. I'm still really confused about that. I feel like it's something I need to be there for because I looked it up and I don't really get what happened. Someone fill me in because I'm still confused. I can only get so much information, but yeah, this is a great song. I love it. How could he possibly top it?
It's the motherfucking Eagle Double G. Snoop Dogg. You know I'm mobbing with the D.R.E.
He topped it. Wow. He didn't even give us a song to breathe. He just decided, you know what? You think I can't top it? Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to top it. I'm going to top it like it's nobody's business. And he topped it with maybe my favorite song of his. I'm on the fence. But I love this song. You know, the da-na-na-na-na-na-na. It's the something D-O-double-G. Snoop Dogg. You know how it goes. You know it. Because it's iconic. This is what I'm talking about. He may not have the best songs on here, but he's got the most iconic and best songs on here. He's got some of the best songs and some of the not as best songs. But he's got the iconic ones. He's got the really, really, really iconic ones on here. And I love this one. It's got a similar trumpet, I think, beat. But, you know, it's got more of that. And, you know, we have just Corrupt being a hype man for him and Dre, or Snoop and Dre, when they come on. He's like, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, no. What do they say? Snoop Dogg, you know, I'm on with the D.R.E. Yeah. You know who's back up in this mother. Whoa. Listen to the song. Jesus Christ, listen to the song. I'm gonna throw this pebble all the way at my wall. If you don't go listen to this, I'm not gonna throw this at the wall. Come back, son. I didn't mean it. I'll get that later. And I would never throw it on my wall. That would damage things. And I don't want to damage things because I love my house. But it's a great song. It's a great song. It's got a great Nick Dogg outro, and I love outros, and I love Nick Dogg, and it's got that iconic line at the end where he goes, "Smoke weed every day," and I was like, "Whoa! I didn't know that was part of the song." And you know, we also got Dre making some California love references in this song, and I was listening to it on stream, and I was like, and when he got to that part, I was like, "Hey, it's like he's referencing California love, isn't he?" And he goes, "California love." And I was like, I called it. I'm so genius. I'm so big noggin energy. But let's move on to the not as iconic songs that are in the rest of the album, but you know, they're not bad. Let's move on. Let's Get High. It's got a vibey, spacey instrumental. It's got a decent verse from Hitman, a decent verse from Dre, a slick hook from Corrupt. Miss Ron's verse is, it's rock. This rocks. Why did I slip up like that? Why did I stutter like that? It sounds weird because I was about to hype it up. I said, wow, this was a really good verse. But now I feel like a donut. So I'm just going to move on to a great transition. Not a whole lot special to this, you know, aside from the beat, you know. Miss Rock's verse was good. Pretty good. The other ones were decent. Not a whole lot to it. So I'm just going to move on. Man, I cannot say this title and not get like... No, I'm not saying that title. No, that's a lot of swear words. Intro by Snoopy and Dre. And I swear they're high-titted. Like, they sound like they're on Mars right now. Like, this wasn't scripted. They were just in the booth doing all the drugs. And then someone just hit record on accident. And they were like, hey, that's a good intro. Let's use that. Come on. Bah! And then, you know, decent verse from Dre where he's, you know, extra high. And, you know, very good little Hitman appearance towards the second half. And then, you know, a pretty short but very good verse from 6'2". And, you know, we got a pretty cool interlude. And then, you know, cool outro. This is a vibe. This is one of the most vibey songs I've ever heard. This is a vibe. This song is a vibe. If you want a vibe, this song. Like, when I have to say, hey, what's a good vibe song? I'll just say this song because, you know, it's a lot of swearing in there. And I'm a good Christian Catholic boy. And I don't swear. I've never sworn in my life. So I'm just going to recommend this song. And it's even got a great transition at the end. So yeah, go and take to the streets. Take to the streets of Spotify and go listen to it right this second. Or listen to the whole album and form your own opinion. Because my opinion is not yours. You're gonna have your own opinion and I'm gonna have mine. Even though mine's right and yours might be wrong. So let's just move on to the next one. Another skit. It's a disturbing one where people die in a car bomb, as you can maybe guess by the title of the song. But again, this did not need to be its own song. This could have just been an intro of the next song. But it does provide us with a very, very, very good transition to the next one. But still, you could just make it one song, and you already got a good transition to this one. It's like they wanted to double down and just chop the song's intro off and then just have us lead into that next one, which I'm gonna talk about right now. Murder Inc., Murder Incorporated. It's got a decent verse from Hitman, a very sick verse from Miss Rock, an amazing hook from both. Like they both have they don't take turns on the hook. Murderer, like. It's Murder Inc. Did I say Murder Inc? Murder. They go murderer throughout the hook, but it's called Murder Inc. Why isn't it called Murderer Inc? Or did they make a typo? Did Dre make a typo? I gotta stop ranting. The last one took ages to upload because it was just long video, so I just had to keep going. Great transition, great instrumental. This is a great song. Dre ain't on it though, but you know what? I don't care for this one. This is a good song. It's a very good song. You should listen to it. Let's move on. Ed-Ucation. Eddie Griffin. Skit. Passionate. Talking about things that you should listen to. Because I don't want to say them, but they're things. Go. Don't leave yet. You're going to ruin my audience retention, but I don't even have audience retention. Get out of here! Intro from MC Great King T verse. A very good hook from Nocturnal and Cocaine. I want to say, am I allowed to say that? Listen, YouTube, if you're watching this and I'm actually not allowed to say cocaine, I will have you know that this is how it's spelled. It's about cocaine with K's. So back off. This is a K. This is K's. There are no C's here. So beat it. Get out of here. Speaking of beats, that was a good transition. Almost as good as the transition on this song. But I digress. What I was going to say is that this is a good beat. It's a pretty good beat. It's a pretty good beat. It's got good verses from Hitman, Xzibit, and D.R.E. Because there's a lot of people on the song. This song is packed. This song is loaded up. They can fit no more people on this song. This song is full. We are to capacity. Hit the streets, buddy. And they all got pretty good verses. I think the only one that doesn't have that great a verse is the Time Bomb. But, you know, it's not a bad verse. It's just kind of deep. It's kind of meh. But, you know, I digress. Pretty good, decent song. Not bad. Let's move on. Housewife. Great verse from Dre, Hitman, and man, these two are all over this thing. Hitman, Corrupt, and Nocturnal, not as much as I remembered, but hey, this kid's still on it a lot. Kid, what am I talking? When I say kid, this dude's like way older than me. I'm a kid. I'm sorry, sir. If Nocturnal, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, sir. I meant no offense. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, they're all over this thing. They're littered across this thing. And you know, I'm gonna be honest. Ain't that much of a fan of Corrupt's hook. I mean, it's good, but you know, it kind of reminded me of like the first verse of Run DMC's Walk This Way featuring Aerosmith. You know that song too, but it felt a bit familiar, like a bit familiar where it was like pushing it, where I was like, is that Stalin or not Stalin? I'm not allowed to say that, but you get the point. It feels a bit too familiar for my liking. Ackrite, it's got a good beat. I won't even lie, it's got a pretty good beat. And you know, I got a bone to pick with this one. I got a bone to pick. Hitman, I love you. You're great. This is your song. Go. This song is yours. Take it and leave. This is not a Dr. Dre song. This is Dre on the production. This is like if he put like an Eminem song produced by Dre, like what, something from Kamikaze or something, I don't know, something that he produced stuff and music to be murdered by. Like if you took one of those and slapped it on his project, just a normal Eminem song with maybe guests he brought in or something, then if you just put that on his album and said, oh, it's my song because I produced it, I mean, you're not a DJ either. You got songs of yourself rapping on here. This is not your song. So hit the road and go back to your own album. This should be a Hitman album, not a Dre album. That being said, as annoyed that I am, because it's just his production on it, and I would even be more okay with this if he got more people on the song, but it's literally just Hitman. It's just a Hitman song, him on his lonesome, just rapping away about acting right. But you know, all that being said, my issues aside, with the fact that this is a Hitman song, it's a pretty good Hitman song. I'm not gonna hold that much against it. I'm not gonna put it as my least favorite track because it's still it's a good song. Just it's not a Dre song. It's got a funny outro at that, but still. Bang 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 is a good song on this album with a good hook from T.Y. Nichols. It's a pretty good thing with gunshots. Bam 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 wham bam bam bam. Great verse from Dre with a little Eminem cameo in it, saying, "Hey, can we talk it over or something?" And he's like, "Nah, back off, man." Something like that. And Nocturno's got a pretty solid verse. Hitman again. This is his last appearance. Goodbye, friend. I will miss you. You know, we had a pretty good verse, and you know, we got a great transition to the next and final song. The Message. This is a very passionate song from Dre, dedicated to his half-brother, I believe. And you know, it's emotional. He gets vulnerable. He says some things that are like really just touching, to be honest. And you know, it's got a pretty good beat with some strings, and by pretty good I mean a great beat. And you know, we got a very good hook from Mary J. Blige, I believe. Bliggy, blah. I'm sorry, I hate mispronouncing names. And you know, Rel's bit in the pre-chorus is pretty good too. This is a really touching song. And you know, I'm just gonna throw the outro with this one because the outro is legitimately just 15 seconds, so I'm not even gonna bother giving it its own section. But there's an outro on this song. Yeah, it's on this song by Thomas Chong of Cheech and Chong, if you're familiar with him. And you know, it's pretty funny. Did not need to be its own song, so back off. This is one song. This is an issue with The Message. The Message is a great song, but this is one song, and it improves on the song, which is already pretty good. So that's my thoughts on The Message. So to sum everything up, what did I think of 2001? I think it definitely not as good as The Chronic. Like, it's got his most iconic songs. I'm not even gonna try and lie and not misinform you. This is some of his best, most iconic songs on it. But it went on for too long. Like, at a point, the song just started getting, like, they lost the sauce, so to speak. They just became kind of bland. There were a lot more, like, middle-of-the-road Dre songs on here. Just, I mean, they didn't even give us something, like, super unique and, like, just kind of in-your-face, kind of special even, about something like I Need a Doctor, which might not be the best song in the world, but, you know, you remember it. You remember I Need a Doctor, and I don't feel like I'm going to remember half these songs once I'm done reviewing this album. But it's got great highlights, some of the greatest highlights you can hope for. But at the same time, it doesn't have a whole lot that's special about it aside from those highlights. The other songs are just kind of middle of the road. And there's a lot of filler. It goes on for way too long. Like, the other Dre albums are like, what, 15 tracks? This one's like 23. Trim that down. Send the Hitman song back to Hitman and combine some of the skits. Maybe cut out some of the skits. Ditch a few songs. Lightspeed, ditch Lightspeed. I don't like Lightspeed. Ditch that thing. Okay, that sounds like I hate Lightspeed. I don't hate Lightspeed's... Lightspeed's not... It's a mess. It's a mess song, but... Like, overall, this was a pretty good album, but it's not on par with The Chronic, and it's not one of the greatest of all times. It's got some of the greatest songs of all time, but as a coherent project, I can't just say that the iconicness of some of the songs overrule the mediocrity of some of the other ones. They're still mediocre songs, and these legendary iconic tunes can only hold it up so high. And that's what I have to say on that. It's uneven, it's a bit long, but it's got the highest highlights. I still recommend this album. Feeling a strong 7 to a light 8 on this project. Yes, it's a bit low, but it's how I feel. So what can you do? So guys, thank you so much for watching. This is going to be a pain to edit, but you know, we're going to have fun with it. And you know, I feel a strong 7. I don't think that's an issue. See, this is me showing how critical I'm going to be. Because I gave a 10 to The Chronic, and I can't have y'all thinking I'm going soft. Strong 7. Take that, 2001. I mean, if you ditch the iconic songs, this thing is like a 5 or 6. Like, I mean, come on. Like, it's middle of the road, so that's that. But man, those songs are iconic and great. I love them, and there's still some of those like non-as iconic songs that I still really like. So I recommend give this album a listen. Please subscribe, like, share, comment below. What do you think of 2001? Is it your favorite album ever? Did I ruin your life with this review? If so, sorry, not sorry. I mean, you're the one that let this Dr. Dre review ruin your life, so that's your issue. Go talk to your therapist about that. So anyway, have fun. Have a good, whatever time you're watching this. If it's the morning, have a good morning. Have a good day. If it's the evening, have a good evening. Have a good night. Good night. Go to sleep. If you're watching this at 3 a.m., go to sleep. You need your rest. I know that I go to bed at a reasonable hour because I'm a reasonable, respectable member of society that goes to bed at the right time. I have good bedtime etiquette. And with that, I leave you. Goodbye.